and they'll answer it as best they can. So go for it.
Sounds great. David, you want to introduce yourself first?
David Ellis. I'm a software engineer trying to be retired. And I've done different levels of management in corporate companies for that as well.
And now you're working for Ellis.
Now I'm working for you.
No, yeah, that's correct. You are working for me. That's true. So my name is Cindy Hansen Ellis, and I have a background in medical social work. That's what I have my master's degree in. And from there, I went into coaching singing groups and working with performance for singing groups across, a cappella singing groups across the world. And from there, I came to Ellis, and I'm thrilled that I'm at Ellis. So we want to kind of jump in. I just want to talk first say, because a bunch of the people that I know are on this call, and I think the times are changing, and I hope you're staying safe and taking care of yourself and taking care of your families and looking out for each other, because I think that's really important. But I have a question for you that I want you to be thinking about while we go through answering all these, and that is, where do you see yourself at the end of this whole massive corona situation? You know, you've got to have a vision, you've got to have a goal, you've got to have a, this is where I want to be at the end of this. How do I use this to my advantage? And I don't mean that in a negative way, but as things change, you get an opportunity, and that opportunity is in front of you. So I want you to be thinking about that when you ask your questions or when you hear my answers. They are all driven off of where I see myself in the next couple of years with Ellis and with our family and our lives. And you can leverage yourself. Right now, we've got people that are experiencing a lot of pain, anxiety, they're sleep deprived, they're nervous, their financial stability is up in the air, and that is right in front of you every single day. If it's not yourself, it's somebody in your family, and it's some friends that you have. So I just want you to keep that in mind, because I think that is why we got into Ellis moving forward. So one of the first questions that Michelle sent me is, what is your system after signing up a new ambassador? And that's a great one, because we felt that it was really important to stay connected right at the beginning when they've got a lot of energy and a lot of excitement going on. And so the first thing we do is we screenshot after we sign them up. And I'm going to tell this to you in two different ways. We do stuff face-to-face, but we also do a lot of stuff through phone and through the internet and through FaceTime and things like that, because we have people all over the world right now. And actually, one of our ambassadors that we just signed up, John, and maybe Marcy is on the call too, are in Germany, and they're on this call as well. So we have people in Germany signed up. We have people in England signed up already. But so we can't do those face-to-face all the time. But when we sign them up, we screenshot the end of that. So here are my steps. And then we send that to them with a welcome letter. After that, we send them a new ambassador checklist. If we have time while we're on the phone when we sign them up, we actually walk them into their back office, and we actually walk them into their website. Now, Ellis turns that around pretty much in about 5 minutes. So we try to do that right at the time that we're making that call. If not, we set up a time the next day or later that day to literally walk them into their back office. And then the email that I follow up with takes them through those exact same steps again, so they don't have to try to remember it at the time they're doing it. They get it in writing afterwards. Also in that email, it asks them to go and get on the Facebook page for the Diamond Makers. Yay! And also it asks them to get on the product page. And then it also gives them some videos that we thought have been very successful, from freedom calls to things that are in the news for them to look at, and gives them some things to do while they're waiting for their product to show up. So that's our first 4 or 5 days with everybody. Can you add anything to that?
No, it's just about getting them information so they can stay excited while they're waiting for
Right. And actually,
product.
Yeah, distribution has gotten really good. When we first came on, distribution was a little bit slower than they are now. And now they're turning things around in 3 to 5 days, which is awesome. So our goal is to keep them excited in those first 3 to 5 days, so we give them tools to work on. So then it says, how much do you communicate with your ambassadors? Well, daily. We try to get everybody set up on a messenger list. And we send out a third reminder that's coming. You know, we get the reminder from corporate and we get the reminder from Brian's team about the calls that are happening. We actually put everybody on a messenger page. And we've had 3 or 4 that don't want to be on that because they're not really running the business. They're doing other things like for retail and not trying to build a team. So we have a handful that have opted out of that, which is fine. But we say, hey, we just found this out. This call's happening. We send out reminders. We tell them a little bit about the person doing the call. We will give them a heads up. If it's Brian doing a call, we explain that Brian is a no-nonsense kind of guy, and we love him for that. And we think he's amazing. Don't be shocked, because Brian's going to say it like it is, just like you saw him on the video. And we also talk about when Robbie Page comes on, she's very warm and very connected to her people. So we give people a heads up because we think that you individually will connect with somebody on our team and on our upline. And so we try to give you a little bit of a heads up. You might want to get on this call because they're going to talk more about how to schmooze with your ambassadors, or they're going to say, hey, let's cut to the chase. Let's get out there and do the business. So we are doing that daily. We also do calls to as many of them as we can, and we send email follow-ups if we haven't seen them on a call or we haven't been in touch with them. I think that keeping them involved is the reason that we became as successful as fast as we did. I think that you have to constantly inspire and motivate people. While it's their own business, they're looking for some help, some leadership, some direction from time to time. So we try to stay in phone contact with people. We do text messages a lot with people, emails. It just kind of depends on what they want. We try to kind of mirror what they seem to respond with. And I think that works really well.
I think we've got some people who came on as gold, and they were going to want to do the business, but then nothing really happened. And then after a couple of months, something changed for them or in their life, and then they started, really jumping in and wanting to do the business. And we just let them know along the way that we're here for them when they're, ready to do it.
Right. We also are very honest. If you want to sit dormant for 2 months and, you don't want us to bother you, or you've got something going on in your life, we help you the way you want to be helped. And I think that comes from my social work background, because they're going to receive it the best way if it's related to what they appreciate and they want to do. We have a number of people who came in just to hold their spot. And one of the great things about that is we've been buying back product from them that they get on auto ship if it's not what they're using. And we've got kind of a really good relationship with our team members in that way. We also, and I'm going to say this, and all of you can't say this, but if I've got somebody who's teetering between coming in at gold or is looking at the silver or the bronze pack because they kind of want to come in but they don't know, I push them to the gold, and I make them a promise that if this business doesn't excel for them in 2 months, I will buy back all their product, because I can sell enough product. And actually, because they're buying their gold pack, and we all have seen that gold pack has a $700 value above and beyond what you're paying for it. So I can't actually buy that much product for that price through the warehouse, right? If I'm just buying a single product. So I'm more than willing to buy that product back if they want to do that. Now, we've done that with one person, and we have 92 on our team right now, I think.
You're at 100.
I'm at 100 now. Yay. I hit 100. Let's all celebrate. Yay. And so we've had one person take advantage of that, only one. And when they brought their product back to us, they only had 6 things left because they'd either sold them or used them. And then they decided they didn't want to sell all of it because they might need something later. It was very funny. Everybody else who's bought gold has run with it. So I push them to gold if I can. Next question. What's the most effective way you have found to invite or get perspectives on a call? Getting people on calls are really tough. If we could get more people on calls, they would stay more active and they would stay more engaged. So I think we just make sure they know that it's there. I often send out notes to people and say, this is the one you have to be on. This is going to really impact you, especially if it's like Jolie doing something with pets, or if it's, something with the medical staff. If I've got people who get a lot of medical questions, I go, and I really push to get them on. I think getting bombarded with messages tends to get more people on from time to time, but try to figure out where they want to get involved. Is it easier for them to take calls at noon? Is it easier at night? Because you don't want to push them to a time when they're never going to do it, right? I think that's the toughest. I invite people and I say, look, if you get on and you are not interested, then get off. But especially nowadays, we've got a lot of people who have got a lot of time on their hands. But not all of them during the day. They're checking up on family members. They're following up on business stuff that they're trying to stay active with. So we've now decided to do a call. I think it's on Saturday, really late in the evening, because not everybody's going to be out at the bars because the bars are all closed. So we're going to recommend that everybody get a margarita in their hand, or a beer, or a soda, and get on the call with Judy and I. Judy Groh and I are going to do a call. And it's actually, she's a nurse, and she's a registered nurse, and she texted me this morning and said, I just got called in for an emergency at the hospital, so I'm going to try to have you in my earbud while I'm running around the hospital. And I said, great. But she and I are going to do a call really late at night. And so we're going to encourage you to have some sort of alcohol or non-alcoholic beverage in your hand, joining us on that time. So we also try to, getting people on the calls is the toughest thing, I think, everybody. Perspectives, we've been really lucky in that we do our own sometimes for perspectives. I have a binder for perspectives that is actually the entire presentation in a binder, and I walk through that with them. So you've got to, again, meet them where they're at.
I think too, it's easier to get people on calls right now because you can just tell them, hey, turn off the news and get on and watch something. Cindy is I think the nicer approach with people. I know there's some people in her downline that need a swift kick in the butt sometimes, and so I just tell them, look, people who succeed in this business, they're on the calls and the meetings.
Yeah.
So decide what you want to do. Spend an hour or don't.
There's a direct correlation to people who get on these calls and their success, and people that don't get on the calls and their lack of success. We have listened to probably 100 virtual opportunity calls just from different people, because we like to take on what their perspective is of that. And then we try not to miss the training ones because we're learning more and more. And we've pushed David because in April 1st, he's going to do the compensation training. So it's a really good team with us. You can, if you want the technology side, then David really can help you. And if you want the interpersonal side and the selling side, then I can probably help you.
If you want all the personal, I'm not your guy.
Yeah, he's not that personal. And I don't want him personal with anybody but me, no. So one of the other calls is, how do you handle, no, this is the one I want to ask. How do you handle no's? We go past no's awful fast. In the beginning, we hung out with the no's. We wanted to know why. We wanted to know if we could change their mind. And Brian did one call one time and said, dump them. Literally, he said, dump them. Because all that time you spent trying to figure out the why, and if you could change it, and if you could fix it, you could have had 3 more yeses. And that just blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh. So one day, David and I went through our list of active people that we were working on, and we went, nope, nope, yes, yes, still working, nope, nope. And we literally eliminated about 15 people off of our list. And we got rid of the no's that kept coming back as no's. If they're teetering, then we find out, why are you teetering? And we go after that. But a no doesn't bother me at all. And there are people that are very personal and want to know why. And I'm not sure they'll ever tell you why. So it's easiest just to get past the no's and to eliminate them. And make sure that when you do it, it's very encouraging that they can come back to you. Say, look, when you're ready, when you have questions, if something changes, get back in touch with me. So you always leave it open-ended with them. We never close them. I know on my sheet I said, no. And some of them may actually be on our team now, because we've had a lot of people come back around. Because I said to David one time, this person is very interested. And David says, well, they're on our no list. And I said, not anymore. They signed up today. So he's like, are you kidding? I said, so they'll come around if they want to. How do you approach someone that you may not know? I love this. Someone who's an acquaintance. So I did this as an example to somebody. We were trying to get somebody on. We were in an airport. And I told David, take my bag. And I took my business cards and I walked into a massage parlor in the airport. And there was a guy just sitting there waiting for a customer. And I said, do you work independently? He said, yep. I said, do you work outside of this business? He said, yep. I said, do you make crazy amount of money? And he went, no. I said, do you want to make crazy amount of money? And he went, yeah. And I said, do you do CBD massages? And he went, no. And I said, I'm your person. I said, I'm going to double your income in a couple of days. Here's my business card. I need your email address, your phone number, and your name. I'm running to catch a plane. And I said, and I will send you an email when I get home tonight, and you and I will talk and we'll sign you up. And he's like, great. So I have 2 business cards, one that he writes his name, his email address, his phone number on, and I give him mine so he has mine and we stay in touch. Now, I did that with Uber drivers. I say, are you making the kind of money you want to make driving Uber? I said, because you've got a little pouch back here, you could have flyers and you could be selling CBD on the side. And he's like, oh, I could. And I said, let's add a second income to your business. He's like, great. I do it with massages in the airports when I'm running through the airport. I do it with people that I don't know very well. I walk into CBD companies and actual stores, and I talk to the most knowledgeable CBD person. And I say, do you have a full spectrum? Is it water soluble? Is the bioavailability up to 94%? I go through, is it US hemp certified? And he goes, I don't have a product like that. And I said, I do. So you and I have to talk. And then I recruit the CBD salesmen from the store to sell our product on the side outside. And then when people don't, then he knows he's got a better product. So I have no problem. The first thing I do is said, do you want to make a crazy amount of money? Are you interested in helping people? Are you interested in making a difference in people's lives? Yes, yes, yes. Then I'm your person. And let's talk about it. And I am that blunt about it. Now, I've got to be in the right mood, because, when you don't feel good or you're not focused, it's hard to do that. But you have to have that energy, and you just have to say, I've got the best product. I'm the person that's going to help you be successful, and let's do this thing. And that's great for the times right now, because if everybody's crazy and doesn't know what to do, you can come in and go, hey, I can help you. I can help you focus. I can help you find a business. I can help you generate new income immediately. I'm your person. And when you say I'm your person and I want you on my team, they feel valued. Because if they know that I'm their person, and everybody knows on my team, they can call me, they can text me 24/7. Now, I don't always answer them at 2 a.m, but first thing when I get up, I do. But they know they have direct access to either of us. And if they can't get me, they can get David. And if they don't like me, they probably like David. So, and I'm okay with that. That's why we work good as a team together. You want to add anything to approaching people you don't know?
No, I think you've covered.
What are some ways that you utilize your upline? Oh, I do this all the time. And how do you help your downline? How do I utilize my upline? Kim Skidmore has helped me immensely. We're trying to get a number of salons in Detroit on, and
Right.
she has been key in giving us advice of how to approach them and telling them we know what their challenges are going to be. She actually got on a call with one of my downlines because I said, you're asking me about salons? Because Matt Clancy in our downline did an awesome job of signing up a salon. And Kim had a strategy of how to show them how they could make money instantly. And he took that information from his phone call with her, walked in, laid it out on a piece of paper, and signed 4 people up that day. He signed the salon up. He signed the 2 owners up under the salon. And then he signed up the daughter who was working in the salon. He signed up all 4 of them in one day. And he was able to convince the salon and the 2 owners to go on his goal. So he got 3 golds and a bronze in one day at that one location. And I'm going to tell you, people who have done that kind of thing are a massive resources for you. So utilize your upline. Judy Clancy. she is a star at talking about how good the products are. And so we use her constantly. I had a lead on a doctor out in California. I called Brian and said, we need to get this guy on our team. We need to be working with him. And Brian's like, yeah, we get a lot of doctors who call, blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, let me just send you the CV. And Brian was like, called me back like 10 minutes later and said, done, we're calling this guy. And a lot is coming out of that. And I don't want to talk about it because I don't know all the details, but it looks like his emergency department is doing some trials for us used in our CBD, which is awesome. So we'll have some more information in our back pocket. But I also, Brian does these little about 2-minute rants, I'll call them, online, when he's online, and he gets right into the computer and he goes, and you got to do this because here's what's going to happen. You're going to be amazing at it. And it's not going to, so what if somebody doesn't like it? And he does these little rants that I love. So I called him up or I sent him an email and said, I want you to rant on why this company is so successful. And I gave him like a list of 4 things. And he did like 4 videos for me that he was in his phone ranting, and they're awesome. And I kept sending them out to my team. Some of them are posted on my website, but I also am going to get those back out again because he did them about a month ago for me. And I need to generate them through the new people that are on our team. So he is excellent at motivation. He is excellent at inspiring, and he's great at no nonsense, cut to the chase. And I've got a lot of people that just need that little kick in the butt that are fired up, and he's so good at it. I said, give me a video of you doing that. And so I know that that's out of his comfort zone, right, Michelle? Because he likes to talk to people and not to
I'm actually a little mad at him right now that I ask him like daily for videos. I'm gonna start asking you to email him and ask so I can get it done.
He was great. He was great. And one time he said, okay, Cindy, this is for your team. And then he got right in the phone and he's like, come on, you guys. And it was fantastic. And so we post those out to that messenger page that I was talking about that we have most of our team on, and things like that. And that works out really well. So our downline, we also try to link up people in our downline directly with our upline if we don't have the expertise at it. We have only been in 7 months. We've been in Zlee 7 months. And so we're still learning along with everybody else, and we don't have all the answers. We don't expect to ever have all the answers because the company is evolving all the time. And so we've a lot of times used to get 2 or 3 people on a call at the same time that are having the same challenges. Like I'll have some downline people that came in at bronze and they just don't know how to approach people. And I got like 4 people on a call together and said, let's all talk about this and ask questions. And let me tell you an approach and what works and what doesn't work. And we get like 3 or 4 of them on a conference call together. And that works really well if they're all having kind of the same type of challenges. Let's see. Do you have the new mobile app, and our thoughts? So the answer is yes, we have the new mobile app. And our thoughts are we're still learning it, just like everybody else is. And David,
we just got it.
We just got it.
I just installed it, and I've got to go back to the video about how to use it because I thought I was going to remember everything, and
right.
I didn't. So, and I know things are changing fast on it too.
Right. One of the things that I think is important is people say, do you want to work from home? Do you want to make crazy income? And the answer is yes, I want to make crazy income, but I don't want to work from home. I want to work from everywhere. I don't want to just work from home. I want to work from everywhere. I travel the world. I want to be able to do this across the entire world, and I want to be able to do it, electronically. And so the app will be extremely important to us. It's one of those tools that, and David's got such a computer background. When things don't work, he knows what questions to ask if we are doing it wrong, or so he can talk techie. For me, when he starts talking to people about those things, it goes wah 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 wah. It sounds like the woman from the Peanuts thing, or the voice from Peanuts. So I think if you're on a team, find somebody, and if you want to utilize David, I'm more than happy to share him for his technology. But you got to have somebody who knows how to talk that language with people, and I think that's important. So he's my geek guy, And I always dump those things onto him. So my answer about the app is I think it's going to be amazing. I am thrilled that they came up with it. I am excited to tell David what I need from it. and,
I think once we get it figured out, it's going to be great because you're more plugged into the social side of things than I am. So once we get figured out how to use that, then I think the drip campaigns are going to help a lot with new.
We're excited about that. We're really excited about the drip campaigns because, I mean, when you talk about how many times should you circle around, wouldn't it be awesome if the app just does that for you? And you won't always have to remember to circle around, and it will remind you that it did that. And so as you get busy building your team, it's nice to have an app that's already in place that you can just set up the groundwork for it to do all the drip campaigns for you. And I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. And being able to personalize them is going to be great. Because I don't know about you, but it's the climate and the people in Texas are different than the people in California. And the people in California are very different than the people in the Midwest. And there's just different personality types. And so having it be personalized is going to be really successful.
I think, Michelle, it'll be great when somebody's used the app and had some success with it to get on here and do a training for us and say, for me, I had some success doing this, and here's exactly what I did.
Right.
Using the app.
I agree. Just playing around with it. I spent one night playing around with it, and I was excited. Like, it's exciting. I love how you can send someone a video and it tells you if they watched it or not, or how much they watched it. That's huge.
Yeah,
well, that's
it
what
is.
I think we're at is kind of the playing around phase right now.
Yeah.
So it's great when somebody's actually, hey, I signed up 4 people or something, and this is the way I use the app to do it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. Let's see. How are you reaching out to international prospects? Well, first of all, I am very blessed in that I have people all over the world pretty much that I know. And so it's easy for me to reach out to them. The challenging thing is that I'm trying to convince them to come into a company. 1, they know absolutely nothing about. 2, they do not get to try the product. And their trust is in me. So if you're going to approach people, go after the approach of trust me. Here's what I've done in this company, and here's what I see from this company, and here's what I know from the leadership in this company. Stephen Thompson at the top is this type of a person, so the whole company is driven off of a. Did I lose you, Michelle?
No, I was putting up your banner.
Oh, my banner, thanks. Yeah, so David and I, on Friday night, I was talking a little bit about this. We are doing a specific, this is the Friday afternoon one. We're specifically going after international people. I have my list is up to about 150 international people that are in these countries that I've invited to come on to a call, and we're going to talk about the product. And Michelle and I have decided that we're going to talk more about the product and what's going to be available to them and how to get them to hold their spot. And we actually had a call with corporate yesterday. Michelle and I did, getting a few of our questions answered that we're going to talk about on this call. So if you have got people that are in other countries that are your friends, your family, your extended family, or business associates that you know, get them on this call, and we're going to give them as much information as we have available to us right now. And I think that us getting, we've always talked about having another person kind of give credibility to you. You can talk to them, but then when you get them on a 3-way and somebody from your upline reinforces what you've said, or somebody from corporate helps support you, then they have more faith in you, and that they know that there's a team behind you and it's not just you doing this on your own. So the reaching out to internationals, I think the important thing to do is you need to have them understand that this is a company that you believe in and that you're committed to for at least the next 2 or 3 years, because it's going to take them a while to get rolled out. So you have to be invested in this. They don't want to come in and then find out that you aren't active anymore. That would be ridiculous. Because if they're going to come in as a founder, they're going to be on the ground floor of that country. and they're going to need a lot of resources and a lot of support to become the foundation of how successful that country is. And so that's a pretty important deal. We are committed to this for life right now. The product is so good. The situation is so great. Everything that we do is, now somebody's calling me. How dare they call me in the middle of my call? And so I think it's real important that you get them on as many calls as you can to learn as much about the product as you can. And John and Marcy, we've done a couple of Skype calls with them and said, make the list of questions. Let's get on a Skype and you just run down your questions. And if we don't know, we'll go find out. And I think that's important as well. And it's important to know the time differences.
Feet, so.
Yeah.
You can go.
So the other thing too, I think is really important, that, we are transparent. We are probably the most transparent of all CBD companies out there. I try to find the information that is available in Zalise at other companies to do some comparisons, and they are not as transparent as we are. And those of you that are new on that's extremely important for you, to be able to say, we are transparent. We are not hiding anything. We are going to hide our patent pending on our water solubility process, because the minute we release that, it has to be exposed. So we aren't going to share that with anybody because we don't want anybody stealing it. Our mimetics, we're going to be a little bit, tight on, what goes into all of that. However, I understand yesterday they talked quite a bit about that on the call, and unfortunately I missed that. But I think the thing that is so important is that the company is so honest and straightforward and true and transparent and willing to share that. Those are things that I use when I talk to people that are skeptical or have heard junk about, all the horror stories, and we've all heard them. So we want to share that with them.
And the most amazing compensation plan in all network marketing.
So, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, but what products do you use? We are religious about a number of them. I use CBD, CBG, and the topical. I use the topical on my broken wrist. I use the topical on my arthritis knees. I threw a bag up in an overhead bin in an airplane, and now I used it on that, and it doesn't hurt anymore. And so I can't make claims personally. Well, I can make claims personally, but I'm not going to do that. But those products, first of all, have changed my entire life. I have a lot of medical problems. I have a rare blood disorder. And nowadays, my immune system is getting boosted. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I was on steroids for over 8 years at 100 milligrams of prednisone a day. So any of you that have been on prednisone know it changes your life. Adds a lot of weight to your body, changes your metabolism. I mean, it's horrific. And in the last 6 months, 8 months since I've been doing CBD, I feel totally different. I feel like I have a new lease on life. I've tried the burn, and then I take it and I forget to take it with me when I'm traveling, and then I get off it, and then I take it, and then I get off it. When I was taking it, I lost weight, and that's the first time in years I've been able to lose weight. So now that we are home, it's my mission to get back on the burn. And now that they've got the powder, I'm so excited because I did not love the cinnamon in the burn. But I can get used to anything because I've been through, back. Now, the most important thing you have to know is we got my husband on the Dream right at the very beginning, and he took Dream before he took anything else because Judy Clancy gave him a bottle of it when we were in Salt Lake City, Utah, and he stopped snoring, and I got better sleep. So the Dream works really good. If your husband snores, have him take the Dream, and you will sleep better. But he slept so sound, and in the morning, I guess you should tell him.
What?
About Dream.
Oh, no, your stories are better.
It was amazing how effective that helped him. In the morning, he started waking up and not saying, I'm so tired, I feel exhausted, I feel like I didn't sleep. And I wish we would have taken a snapshot of his Fitbit, because the week before, his sleep was terrible. And how many times he woke up. And then the week he took the Dream, he was in this REM sleep longer and deeper. So we had proof that the only thing he changed was using the Dream for sleep. But you take the burn, just for the energy from it.
I wish I could remember to take it twice a day.
Yeah.
So I guess I need more edge.
Yeah.
I do take the edge.
You take the edge all the time too.
Right. I have a hard time remembering to take the burn before lunch. I'm
So-
okay before breakfast, but not before lunch.
So you have to take the edge to remember to take the burn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I take the D and the G.
Yeah. Was online posting on Facebook, and Judy and I are obviously, we've known each other for many, 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 many years. I've worked with her husband in the vocal majority, and so Judy and I have been great friends for a number of years. And she kept talking about how miraculous online this cream was related to her hands and all the stuff that she had going on. And finally, one day I just called her and I said, is it really as good as what you say it is? Because I'm still struggling with a lot of problems. And she said, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And I said, well, and that was when they had the challenge where you could buy a small topical, a travel size topical and a travel size sublingual, and you could do what was called the challenge, right? Or not the challenge, but the and so I bought that from her and she sent that to me and I used the cream and instantly that cream changed my life. I was having problems with a broken wrist. I was having problems because I didn't just break it, I crushed it, so they couldn't put pins in it. So there was a lot of problems with it. And now you can tell it works just fine. And I didn't have to ever have surgery, and they kept telling me I was going to have to do that. But because I could get past all the pain by using the topical, I was able to get it to heal faster. And now I'm not making a medical claim, but that was personally what happened with me. So Judy got me started, and then we were sitting at the table signing up, and David was talking about not being able to sleep. And she goes, well, I just happen to have this problem with me. And she handed him a dream, and then it was a dream for me. It was a dream come true. I got to sleep that night. So yeah, and we carry product in our purse all the time. In my purse, you don't carry it in your back. You carry it in your backpack.
Yeah.
You leave your purse at home. David leaves his purse at home.
His merce, yeah. So there's a question. Did you have a?
Sorry,
I
I wanted to follow up. So how long from the time you got the product, she got the product in your hands, to you were like, we've got to do this? Like, did David take a look at the comp plan? Like, what made you decide I don't want to just be a product user?
So that actually goes into the next question that we have. I said to David, we're going to just be a product user. And he's like, well, I kind of looked into the company and did some research and did a web mining, thing, and went and found out how successful they were, and Stephen Thompson, and he wrote a program to go out and extract a lot of data about Zalise. I sent the product to my homeopathic guy, and he said, it's a great one, you should use it, it's phenomenal. And he doesn't usually say that about a lot of products. He's very picky about how they're processed, how they're kept in what type of bottles. The blue bottles that you use was a huge bonus for him. Versus the brown bottles, because there is a difference in the purity of the product that's inside a blue bottle versus a brown bottle. And so we went round and round, and I said, we're just going to use the product. We can afford to buy it at the retail price. We're going to buy it. And he's like, I think we're going to go into the company. And I said, no, we are not in the process of buying another company or getting into a business. You're trying to retire. I'm trying to retire. He's like, no, I think we're going in. And I said, we're not buying in. One, I do not like multi-level marketing companies. And the reason for that is I live in Greenville, Michigan, which is 20 miles from Ada, Michigan, where Amway is based. So Amway is in my backyard, and I grew up with everybody selling Amway and the multi-level tier marketing that happened with Amway. I have friends who are in a number of those, and I said, with the people that I have in my business all over the world, I don't want to subject them to having to come into a multi-level marketing company. And David says, no, I think we're going in, and here's why. And we did some research about what CBD was doing in the industry. We did some research about this product, and we couldn't find a reason not to come in.
Well, that curve of prosperity is what
Was
really,
There they go. They're back. Yeah.
Are we back? Okay.
Can I ask Cindy a question? Cindy, so you're saying that you already knew you all were going to sign up before I went through that whole presentation with you at the table?
No, we
No.
did not know that. No, we did
Oh.
not know that. No.
Okay.
And we signed up,
On the fence.
we were on the fence, but we had been talking and talking and talking about it. And then we looked at each other, and David just like, we're going in. We're going all in. We're going in at goal. Because if you're going to go in our opinion, if you want to make money as a business, then our suggestion is jump in, both feet first. And then you're committed, and then you're invested, and all of those things. And so when we decided, when we were talking about it, I said, well, let's just use the product for a while. And he's like, no, we're going in.
See, the timing was right too, because about 3 years earlier, we had looked at buying a restaurant that was mismanaged, and we thought we could bring it back and sell it, get it for a good price, and we got outbid. And then we came across a golf course that was nearby. We thought, okay, well, we'll buy a golf course, and that had a lot of financial problems. And again, we kind of got outbid for that from
Well, and I'm
people
going to
who
tell
didn't
you,
know as much as we did.
and don't think we have a lot of money, because we were going to take out a lot of a loan to do this, to try to set ourselves up for a good financial retirement. Okay, because I work for myself, so I don't have anybody paying me a pension or that. So we were going to go into a lot of debt, thinking that we could turn these around. So we did not have a lot of money to just go out and buy a golf course or buy a restaurant. Don't think that, first of all. But what we saw was the potential of how much money we could take out in a loan to invest, turn it around, and then this dropped in our lap, and we went, maybe this is what we're supposed to be doing.
A lot lower investment.
A lot lower investment, but then we've also, what we've done for our downline, I think this is really important, and I'm going to say this, and not everybody can do this. We have taken all the money that we've made with Celise and invested it right back into our team by buying product at the lowest level, and we give it to them on consignment. So if we have somebody who wants to start the business at a bronze level, can't afford to buy product to get it in the hands of people, we give it to them on consignment. So while we've brought in quite a bit of money, we have bought product back to help establish our downline to be able to go out and have product in their hands and sell to people. And then they pay us back, and they get to keep the commission that they make on that. And I know that everybody can't do that, but that was how we decided to really support our downline. And it's worked really well for getting us to grow as fast as we have grown. Now, we haven't grown as fast as Brian did. I still want to figure out how he did it so fast. But we are at 7 months. I'm at area. We have 100 people in our downline, and our downline keeps growing, and we don't lose very many, and we don't have very many people that are what I call dormant. We have some people that buy product like every other month, and we have some people that buy it every 2 or 3 months, so I consider them dormant from time to time. They're not getting an auto ship every single month, but they're still product users, and that's still really good for us. So when you talk about the multi-level marketing pitch, I tell people that I wasn't ready to go into that. And then I decided that if people want to come in, they're going to come in because the product's so good, not because I can build a multi-level marketing team. And I think it's key that you get product in people's hands. Every time we do a face-to-face or we do something in a hotel conference room, we have product for everybody to try. And the first thing we do is we put that cream on their body someplace where they have pain. And by the time the meeting's done, we say, okay, who wants to talk about the pain that we put our, ultra cream on? And I will tell you that more than 2/3 say that their pain is gone and they're amazed at it. And we think that it's the product that sells. And then if they want to do the business, we're more than happy to help them build a business. The last question that I have on my list right now is, what has been the hardest hurdle to get past in the business? Probably the hardest hurdle is that it's multi-level marketing, and we run into people that already have preconceived ideas about it. So we're a lot of times explaining that this is different than most other multi-level marketing teams, companies, and we explain why it's different. We are not from a multi-level marketing background. So for us, we've had to learn how to build our team smarter. And David and I spent a lot of time looking at how do we build our team so that we don't slide backwards. And once we got to area, the only month that we weren't area, we got to area at 7 weeks. And then the only month we weren't at area, I had to do an international trip to Italy. So I don't tell people that I've recently been to Italy. I was gone for I was out of the country for 3 weeks, and I could not do the support and the education and the hands-on that I wanted to do. So we just barely missed area. And from then on, we said, how do we make sure that never happens again? And I now make area because we're helping our teams be more successful under us. So there's not a risk that we won't make area in our minds ever. And then now we're going to do the same thing to jump up to national, regional, national, and presidential. We want to establish our teams to be so successful that once we make that leap, we don't have to worry about trying to make it every single time. Our teams will be so successful that they will make their area and communities and cities that it will help us make our level. So we've spent a lot of time in the last few months in building our teams more than us adding more people on. So that's kind of the questions we have. Michelle, do you have anything else that came to you?
I do. I have a lot. First of all, I'm getting a lot of feedback saying they love you guys. They really are. You're very engaging, and you're like Judy. When you talk, you're just mesmerized with what you're saying. You're great. You can spin a good yarn. Okay. Are wholesale members required to do auto ship?
They're not required to do auto ship. So we've signed up a couple of wholesales, and our downline have done that. So they do need the auto ship to stay active, which would be important for the person who sponsored them. And just my little commercial announcement here, we had somebody who was in the downline who came in as wholesale, and they were not showing up in the system as active. So for everybody who's on here, check your downlines and make sure that the wholesale people are in fact showing up as active, because they should their first month automatically. And if not, then reach out to support to get that fixed, because the person who signed them up may not be reaching the rank that they need.
Right.
So make sure you follow up, because around the middle of the month, somewhere like between the 10th and the 20th of March, things changed and the computer system didn't catch up with all of those changes. So check your downlines.
If you're trying to build your team, you need so many actives under you to be active to get you to rank to the next level. So the wholesale customer does not have to stay active. They don't have to buy every month. They don't have to be on an auto ship. But if you're using that to propel your business, then the answer is you want to get as many active people under you as you can that are getting auto ship, and that can be wholesalers, bronze, silvers, or golds, right? So if you're trying to build a team, then having active ambassadors under you is important. If you're trying to get product to people and make commission off of the sales of the products they buy, and you're not trying to build a team, then it's not as important. And you still get benefits for having them signed up under you.
Okay. Do you have the sale information translated into the European languages yet?
So in England, that's not a problem because they speak English.
They just don't speak American.
They don't speak American, they speak English. The people that we're working with in Germany have asked us that same question.
You did have to change something for England and remove y'all.
Yeah. I was sending something out and it had y'all in there, and I thought my people in England won't understand y'all. came from somebody in Texas. So I don't know about, that's a good question probably for Michelle and for corporate. I don't know if we're going to do other languages. I know when and if we go into Canada, it is required to be in French. And all of the written documentation will have to be in French as well. So that's a great question. I will just say that when I travel the world, anybody who's under the age of 60, most likely in other countries, speaks English. They don't always read it, but we can't assume that from our countries.
Right. For sure, in like Germany and Denmark, maybe not so much the Eastern European, the Baltic ones, and then I really don't know anything about Greece.
Right.
So-
And we were just in Croatia, and
But you know what? Everybody's got Google Translate, so just hit the Google
I
Translate.
think, so the calls that I've been on, and I believe Dr. Andreas, and I wish I could remember his last name. I want to say Wolf, but I don't know if that's correct. And I think he is based out of Germany. And I was told right now we would only translate into German. And I'm going to show, so this is in the back office. If you go under resources and hit documents, there's an enrollment application and a launch flyer. And I'm going to share this
Cool,
because
Michelle's gonna teach us something.
huh?
I said, cool, Michelle's going to teach us something.
I'm going to share this. I don't know if it's, hold on, pull it up here. So this is the only thing that I could find that was in another, now my mouse is gone. Let's go to this. All right. Here it is. All right, so this is what, it's like a launch flyer.
Right?
I don't know what that says, but it's probably German.
Yeah,
I'm
John's
guessing.
on. I'm sure he can read it.
John Warner is on, and he's from Germany, and so he could tell us. We could send that to him and just have him, give from a local person's perspective.
Okay, someone just said, I speak German. It is German. Okay, so there you go. I knew that right now, and I'm guessing this is John that said this is German. It says save
Probably.
your spot. Yeah, so if y'all can find that and tell us what it says so we know when we give it to people what the heck we're giving them, if it's not something like whoever's holding this paper's an idiot. Like if it says something like that, we don't want to pass that on.
Yeah, Michelle, John will be on the call that we're doing Friday. And so he's in Germany and he'll be on that call with us. So we can use him as a resource. They have already signed up. So they're coming in eventually at the founders level when that's available. So they have already held their spot with us. So they are very excited about Zalise moving into Germany. And so we are ecstatic about that.
I'm looking forward to some, bilingual founders who can then do some native language Zoom calls.
Right.
That we can steer other people to.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
It'd be great to get John and Marcy down the road, a great husband and wife team in Germany that we've brought on to do, maybe the four of us do a call together to people out in Germany, and then we can have it translated. What else you got, Michelle?
I got, during this time of stay at home, how are y'all, this person's from Texas, able to recruit new customers that have not been on the product yet?
So we do a lot of mailing. We mail products to people all the time because of we have got so many people across the country. So that's pretty normal for us. The stay-at-home time, we do Facebook Live, we do Skype, we do FaceTime, we do Zoom. So I wish my husband would buy stock in some of those companies because we're all using them right now.
Yes.
So that is not a lot different from us because I have to do it remotely almost all the time anyway. And so when we talk to people about the product, a lot of times if we can get them to do the small travel sizes, if they're nervous about it, we actually use the travel sizes to say, let's swap out what you're using for this. and you use this for 2 or 3 weeks and tell me the difference, right? So we get those products out to people by mailing it to them. And I'm telling you, we're doing this as a business, so we eat the cost of that. Because it's important to me, if I think that they're going to be great on my team and they're going to be part of making this successful, then I'm willing to eat the cost to get it in their hands. So the answer is different. We do it from home all the time. We do it from a hotel room. We do it all over. It's easy. The thing is, you've got to get them to trust you and believe in you, and you've got to be honest with them. And it's so easy to be honest about this product because it's so good.
The guys at the post office know me.
By name.
I'm in there a couple times a week. Our little small post office.
I think that while people are at home, it's a time when they're worried about things and they're nervous about things and they're not sure where things are going to go. And if you can say, hey, you got to listen to me for a few minutes because I have a vision of what I want to do with my life and I have a vision of where I want to take it. And if you and I could just talk about that for 10 minutes, you're going to see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and it could be Zalise for you. And I think that you use the time wisely of how you approach people. If people are like, I'm going to get out of my job because this is a perfect time to do it and I don't want to go back, I've loved my time off, say, well, do you need some financial residual income? Well, yeah, I do. Okay, then that gets you in the door with them. If you have people who know they've lost their job, we have one of our team members, our downline, came in just as a bronze, wanted to just get it for her family. This was before the wholesale was available. And she got 2 or 3 people using the product, buying it through her. And during all of this, she has lost her job. The restaurant that she works in has closed down. And she called me and said, all right, I'm in 100%. And I said, great. How do you want to do this? And she said, I want to get on calls. I want to do this. And literally I said, let me help you. Let's set up some calls where you and I talk about building your business. I did a thing, and I'm going to tell you this, and if you steal it, it's okay. There's a thing called massagebook.com, and all those massage therapists are going to look for an avenue to get people back in. And if they could offer CBD massages and help with stress and help with anxiety, I think that as the world starts turning around, they need a new avenue and a new niche. Go to massagebook.com, put in your zip code address, and it will give you all of the independent massage therapists within a 15 or 20 mile radius. And I went into the contact list and I contacted them and I said, one sentence and one sentence only. Do you offer CBD massages? That's all I said. And I did it to 5 of the massage therapists. 3 of them came back and said, no, we don't. And I went, bing, here's an opportunity. I'm going to call all of them. One of them said, no, I will not, because I will not use illegal marijuana, blah, blah, so uneducated, so I can take that if I want. And the third one said, I do. Why? And I said, I want you to try my product instead. So 4 out of the 5 were openings for me to get into a massage therapist's office, right? So there's massagebook.com. And if you want some help with it, Michelle can pass out my email address and I can send you how I actually screenshotted it and said, go to this page, and this page, and this page to do it. I think we've got an opportunity with the pet industry, with all the pet daycare. I think we've got an opportunity with the massage industry, the chiropractic industry. I think we have an opportunity with the, what else was it that I was, the personal trainers. I think that is huge. And I think that if we can get personal trainers on, it's not going into, I called a personal trainer friend of mine and said, I don't want to sell you on my product. I want to ask you questions. I want you to be a resource. How do I get personal trainers on? And she said, do not go to the fitness club because it'll sit in a little display window. She said, get the name of all the personal trainers and meet with them. Personal trainers are used to having a second or third line of income. They're selling drinks, they're selling weight, they're selling different things. Protein powders. Get them on, and then they will they'll use the product with the customer, or they'll, get it in their hands and they can sell it out of their trunk. of their car. And so she gave me a list of 10 opportunities to get a personal trainer on. And I have that list that I sent out to my team. Said, when you go and approach a personal trainer, here are the things you want to talk to them about and tell them. So when you talk about how do we help our downline, as I'm thinking about it, we gave them tools to approach massage therapists, to approach personal trainers, to approach chiropractors, to approach salons that we got from Kim Skidmore. And Kim's got a great video about how to do that, so we use her video now.
Some people need the step-by-step approach, and so then Cindy writes that all out for them, and then they can just kind of follow the cookbook recipe.
Yeah, and I said, this is what works for me, but use this as an outline and kind of go with the person as they talk to you.
And then some people go off script and then it doesn't work for them. You go, you should follow the script.
Okay.
Okay, what else?
I got, well, shipment
overtime, but people seem to want to stay.
I know they love you. You haven't, your numbers haven't dropped at all. I'm telling you, they actually went up. Will shipments come from the US to Europe, or will there be an EU warehouse? I think there's a.
So what I saw is everything is coming from northern Italy. It might be Milan, I'm not sure. And it's actually, I read that it's actually manufactured there in Europe.
That's what I heard.
So
too.
nothing is being exported from the United States to Europe that I'm aware of.
Right.
Which
That's
gets by a lot of regulations.
Right. And it also will get to them sooner because it won't get stopped in customs and so on and so forth. So yeah, it'll be directly shipped out of a warehouse there.
Okay, and everyone keeps asking, what do they use the products for the CBD massage? What product?
So here's what we've got 2 massage therapists that have been very successful. One of them, we suggested she use the product on whatever ached when they came in first, okay, and use the topical, right? We use the jar topical. So here's the broad brush of that. I said, buy a large jar of topical. She came in at silver, and I said, put all of this, this was when you could pick the small jars or the large jars. And I said, put all those little ones up on with a little note of how much they cost. Use a small portion of that to work on backs, lower knees, shoulders, whatever ached. And
Sciatica.
and do it right at the very beginning of the massage. And then go to doing the full body massage on top of that. And by the time you're done with the massage, all of those spots that you put that topical on literally had 0 pain, and people were walking out. And we find it works great for sciatica. I had a friend who I gave a small topical to try on her sciatica. She called me 2 weeks later and said, send me some more of that free topical. It's like, yeah, it's not free. You can buy it from me. Here's a jar. It costs you, And she's like, I said, or you can come into the company and you can buy it wholesale. And she goes, well, I just want another free one. It worked so well. And I said, great. If it worked so well and nothing else has worked, then you can buy it. And so what they do is then they talk about with the massage therapist where they use that topical. They can buy a small jar of it and take it with them. So they added a price increase to do a CBD massage. So if their normal massage was $100, they charged $110 or $120, whatever how much ever they were using. And then they turned around and sold the product. So they got 2 lines of income streams increased. So we got her on, and then she went to the school that she got trained in. And right now we are working on getting that massage school to use the topical. And if we get that, then we're going to get the 30 massage therapists that are licensed every time they leave that school to sign up for, and that would be like awesome. So you never know where helping somebody's going to lead you. So we got her on, and then she took us to the school, and we're going to try to do a training at the school with how to do CBD massages. And we have a licensed medical massage therapist on our team. So we use him as well a lot. A shout out to Matt Clancy. He's doing awesome in the company.
And you're going to sign up that woman from Colorado that is can't remember her title.
Yeah, we signed up Reiki people. Reiki people love it. If they're doing Reiki, it's a great stream to go alongside of their Reiki. We found that people who do essential oils love to add this line of product with what they're doing. And we talk about how that can merge with them. We don't, they say, well, I'm already doing this. We go, great, that is awesome. This aligns really well with that. We don't take that as a no and walk away from it. We jump right in and say, oh my gosh, then you already know how to do this. And we reward them for being so successful at already knowing how to be, you know, build a team and use the product successfully.
Okay, last question. This actually, can you hear me? Mouse. Can you hear
Yep.
me? Okay. Okay. So this question actually
we hear you
kind of
great.
goes back to Matt Clancy and him signing up that salon. It says, in signing up a salon or any other company, do they sign up as LLC and then the owners in a separate spot?
Right. So we talked with Kim Skidmore about this, and she said she wished she would have done it that way, knowing what she knows now about building a business. So we have gone to every business that we try to sign up that is like, let's take a salon as an example. And we go and talk to, we obviously need to get our foot in the door, but what we did is we explained to the two owners of the business that once you put the LLC on, and then you put the two owners under it, when the two owners buy product, there is a commission that the LLC gets. If the LLC buys the product, they don't get paid commission off of that. So they've in level of income for their company by putting the LLC on first and putting somebody underneath the LLC. So let me give you an example of a great way to help your team build up. Put your LLC on, then put two of the owners on, and then put a salon, you know, one of the salon technicians on. Buy the product under the salon technician, and the owners get paid and bonuses and BB, and the LLC gets bonuses. Remember, it goes up the line, right? You're helping everybody build their team. And so sometimes the other thing that we take advantage of, and you need to know this, when we go to Fall Fest, when we go to Spring Fest, we buy as much of that product or what specials they have that are available. And then we get it back to our team, whether we sell it to them at the cost that we got it for, or we got to get it in their hands. And it's hard to get product in people's hands, and not everybody can afford it. So, you know, we're willing to take all of the money we're making in the company right now and invest it right back in to our team. And they get that. And we get that BV when we buy that show special, and we get all that. So we're getting plenty ourselves. So then how do we share that? We're in Tulsa, Oklahoma today, and we've got a person that's in Tulsa, and we're not allowed to get together and meet up with them. But we brought powder because she hasn't been able to buy some of the single powders unless she gets it in her auto ship. And her family is set on their auto ship. They're not going to change it. They love it. So we brought her powders, and we're giving her a set of powders, and because she needs to get them out to the people on her team, and they need to try them. And you know, it's hard to sell a product if you haven't tried it. So talk with your upline. Is there a way that you can buy some of these cases together and split it out among everybody that's on your team? Not everybody has to have a full case of everything. I know that was a long way around.
No, it gave me time to plug in my my mouse. My mouse was dying.
I think it was because you were asking me about the buying the tiered level and putting the LLC on.
Right.
We wish we would have put our LLC on first, and then David and I would have both gone under it. When we came on, I bought in at gold, and I needed product a week later because I had sold or given away all of my product. And I said, I can get more product buying David in at gold for that price than I can buying that mixed package through the company. So I bought him in already, so he's under me.
Right, it was cheaper to buy me in as gold.
It was cheaper to buy him in at gold and get all of his product because of the great gold package. You got so many different pieces, right? So you got lots of different products to try and get out to people. And so we weren't even planning on doing this and having both of us have gold spots in the company. But we're only working my spot as a business, and we're holding his spot with 100 BV on his auto ship. So his spot is worth a lot of money right now because it's generated a ton of BV. And so we're holding that spot. We may will it to one of our kids. We may start it up later, but we keep his auto ship active. And that spot, because it's so far up in our line, is got quite a bit of value to it.
Storing volume.
Storing value.
Did you have any more questions, Michelle?
Let's see.
While you're looking, I'm just going to say, so you would go into stores because almost every store now is carrying some kind of CBD product in there. And we found that they're usually not interested in carrying another kind of CBD.
Yes, that's true.
So you'll go in there and say, do you have CBG?
And they go, we have CBD and there's CBG and CBD. I said, no, I want CBG. And they go, well, there's CBG and CBD. And I said, no, I want CBG. Do you have CBG? And they're like, no. And I said, then you want to talk to me. And here's why. I said, you don't have to put all my products in your store. You don't have to put all my products in your little clinic. But if you don't have anybody that has CBG, this is going to be the new up and coming thing. And I'll get my foot in the door by having them take one of our products and only getting CBG and offering CBG in the store. We go into so many places and they've got the CB. Oh, and here's another great thing to do. If you've got a number of people in the area and you've got a small pharmacy or a small independent shop that you're trying to get your product in, send everybody in and ask them if they have Zalise. So for the next week, 20 people walk into that shop and say, do you carry Zalise? I want Zalise CBD. I want Zalise Ultracell. And then when they say no, say, okay, and then have them leave. And then you walk in and say, hey, I've got a product that you might want to sell. I'm selling Zalise. They go, oh my God, I've had 20 people in here this week asking about Zalise. And we set ourselves up to do that all the time. We go into places and we send people in and say, ask about us. We walked into, and we didn't set them up in Florida, but we walked into a store in Florida, a small independent grocery store that's kind of a health food store. And we said, I see you have a whole room of CBD. And I said, I represent Zalise. And he goes, oh my God, people are asking about Zalise. They're getting it at their chiropractor and at their salon, which are the ones that Matt had set up. And they go into these shops and can't buy it, right? So he says, I want to sell this product. He said, it's amazing. So we're just now closing, I think, with that business in Florida. They have to go through a lot of rigmarole. But you send people in to want the product, and you talk to them about asking about CBG, and it makes the owners and the people that are selling it aware that there is a better product out there.
One thing we found out in Florida, they passed a law at the beginning of the year that CBD products must contain a QR code on them. And most don't have the QR code. So you can, if you're from Florida or talking to people, you can remind them.
Right, and if they're selling a product that doesn't have a QR code, they're breaking the law right now.
In Florida?
So, yep, in Florida. So you can tell them that they should be selling your product, which meets I'd say it meets the gold standards because it meets the hemp requirements and exceeds them, right? So that's huge.
What was that doctor's office you went into and you were talking to the admin on the other side?
Oh, so I went into a doctor's office and said, I've been trying to talk to your doctor about CBD. And she goes, oh, do you have burn? I said, I have burn. She goes, oh my gosh. She goes, I take burn and I can't find it anywhere. And she goes, I said, well, we got to sign you up. She goes, what do you mean sign me up? I said, why don't you buy it for wholesale? And she goes, I can do that? And I said, yeah. So the admin that I was trying to get to the doctor was already using burn. She had bought it online. She had seen it someplace online, but that wasn't available anymore to her. So I said, you ought to just sell it. And I said, and you've got a crappy product here. I'm just going to tell you. And she's like, why? And I said, because it doesn't have this, this, and this. And I said, and our product does. And I said, do you want me to do a comparison? And she said, yeah. So I sent her a comparison between the two products. And she goes, I have got to offer your product in our office. And I said, that's what I've been talking to your doctor about. So it's easy. I offer all the time to say, let me do a comparison between your CBD and somebody else's and our CBD. And we're in the process, because I know you're going to ask me this, we're in the process of putting a small spreadsheet together that shows that of what the major ones offer and what they don't offer. And it's not that they're bad. I mean, this one was bad because they didn't know where their hemp was grown. And we did some research, and there are some iffy things about them. But, and I say, you know, when you go out to buy a soda, you know, are you going to get a Pepsi, an RC, or a Coke? You know, there's going to be all different kinds. And so there are some good products out there. They aren't as good as ours, I would like to say. But, you know, and we're going to be the forerunner in the industry. So you have to be able to say, what is it you want? And we can't say bad things about all the products because some of them are pretty darn good. But if we can compare them and say, yours is a processed using butane, which has a chance to change the chemical makeup in the CBD that you're getting. So there's a question about all of these cannabinoids and terpenes and whatever they are called. I can never remember them. Proteins and minerals that have been changed because of the butane used to extract
on the circle.
On the circle of the train. And so if you use butane to extract the CBD out of the plant, it changes the chemical makeup. So you are not getting a full spectrum CBD, right? And of course, broad spectrum, we're just trying to add back all of those chemicals and all of those proteins. And when you add them back, what are you using to add them back? It's not the natural ones that came from that plant, right?
And they're not adding everything.
Right, and so they're not adding. So if you know these things, it helps when you're talking to a pharmacist or when you're talking to, but your upline can always help you. We can help you. Yeah, I mean, we're more than happy. If you have a question, Michelle, you can post my email out to everybody. My phone number, it's easier to get me by text because I travel a lot. And I do have a spam thing on my phone that will hijack you if they don't know you. So text me if you want, and then I can call you. We're more than willing to talk. All we're doing is talking about what we experienced. If you want to keep your team happy, stay in touch with them, help them as much as you can, help them build their business. You know, utilize your upline whenever you can. Three-way calls give you so much credibility. I love what Robbie Page always says, love on your people, hug on them, make sure they're happy and they're doing good. We let people run as much as they want to run, and if they come running back, then we'll help them. If they, it's their business. They bought in, they get to make it successful. They do not work for me. They work for themselves. And I often say, I cannot, make you successful. I love what Robbie Page says. If you have to drag them in, you have to drag them through. And I don't have time to drag you through, but I can support you and make you successful as much as you want. Anything else, Michelle?
That is it. I put her email into everyone. I put it in the chat. I'm not going to give out your phone number because I don't want you to be bombarded. So.
Okay. They can email me, and when I return,
and then if you want to talk more with them, they can. But I would encourage all of you, if you have a involved sponsor, always reach out to them because teams teach different things. But if you don't have an involved sponsor and you don't know your uplines, reach out to me and I can look that up for you and get it to you. But definitely, if anything that you hear from them that you want to use, it's fair game.